So today we're going to talk about one of the hottest goaltenders in the league right now, Dan Vladar. Now, this past weekend, the Philadelphia Flyers played the New Jersey Devils. That was on Saturday, 2 days after Thanksgiving. Now, Sunday, I decided to rewatch this game because it was Sunday, it's the Sabbath, I want to rest, I want to chill, and I was like, why don't I put on the Flyers and the Devils on the New Jersey Devils broadcast, okay? Now, in that game, the Flyers ended up winning 5-3. But I noticed that Dan Vladar, the goaltender for the Philadelphia Flyers, was making some insane saves. Insane. There were two saves that he made at the end of the first period. He denied Timo Meier, and then I think the other one was might have been, I don't remember who it was. It was a lefty, okay? But it was Timo Meier and it was someone else. Maybe it was Timo Meier both times, okay? But he slid across the crease twice, all within the span of like a minute, and denied each of those two shots. And then later in the game, I just hit myself, later in the game, he had another incredible save on Dawson Mercer, okay? Insane stops, insane. And I remember, as I was preparing for the Florida Panthers video, which I filmed last week, go check that out, I was preparing for that video and I was watching the game film from the Flyers against the Panthers in Sunrise. And the Flyers broadcast, they were talking about how good Dan Vladar has been for the Philadelphia Flyers. And I was like, interesting. Now, Dan Vladar is not top 5 in save percentage. He's not top 5 in GAA, right? He's not top 5 in wins. But currently, Dan Vladar is at a peak right now in his career. I was looking at his stats. He is at his highest save percentage that he has ever been in his career. He is at his lowest in goals against. And on top of that, he has won 10 out of the 15 games he has played with the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, you take that number, he's got 10 wins. He is 4 wins away from tying his career record in single season wins. He got 14, I think, like 2 or 3 seasons ago. He is at 10 right now. Heating up. Absolutely heating up. At an absolute peak. And I did some math in the good old ChatGPT. If all things keep on going with the current pace in which it's at, Dan Vladar will have 33 wins by the end of the season, putting him quite potentially in that top 5 mark for wins. He is playing absolutely amazing. Now, why is he so successful? How has he been so successful? Now, before I get into that, I just wanted to say, referring back to the saves that he made this past weekend, for those of you who don't know, he's a pretty big guy. He's 6'5", he's 209 pounds. Now, for a guy that's 6'5", that can make these incredibly acrobatic, sprawling saves in the crease, is pretty impressive. He's 6'5". The reality is he's 6'5" and he's making these saves, which is elevating his team, and it's getting him wins. So that right there alone is just mind-blowing. But let's talk about another factor into why I think Dan Vladar has been so successful for the Flyers. Currently, the Philadelphia Flyers are fourth in the Metro. They are in the playoff race. They are in that top wildcard spot as of the time that this video is airing. They do have a game later today. We'll see if they win or not, but currently they are in the playoff race. The Philadelphia Flyers look like a much better team this year. Past couple seasons, they've been at the bottom of the Metro. They haven't made the playoffs. However, this year, they got Rick Tocchet as their coach. They are a very defensive team. They have one player that's at a point a game. That's Trevor Zegras. Everybody else is under a point a game. Yet they are in the middle of the pack in the Metro, and they're in a wildcard spot, which shows you how good of a defensive team they are. With the names of Travis Sanheim, Emil Andre, Noah Juleson, Jamie Drysdale, Nick Seeler, right? These guys have been playing great in front of Dan Vladar. Now, if we backtrack to Dan Vladar's career in Calgary, he didn't have that. And currently, the Calgary Flames are the worst, probably the worst team in the league. Okay, their defense is really bad. Really bad. So I think Dan Vladar coming to Philadelphia and playing behind defensemen that are getting their sticks in the lanes, They're clearing traffic in front of the net. They're blocking shots. They're helping him out a little bit. I think that gives him a little more confidence. That takes a little more pressure off of him to play his game. And I think he's really stepped up to the task this year. Now, another thing I wanted to talk about was the fact that we do have the Olympics coming up in February, and the Czech Republic will be playing. And it's a bit of a tight race with goaltenders right now. If you're the Czech Republic coach, you got a hard decision to make, because currently Dan Vladar is playing really well. Dostal of the Anaheim Ducks is playing really well. Dobesh of the Montreal Canadiens, he was doing really well at the start. He's kind of fallen off recently. However, all three of those goaltenders are in a really tight race to see who's going to get the starting spot, or at least who's going to be rotated in for games come time February. So, I don't know. We'll see. All three of those goaltenders are playing really well. Dan Vladar has made some immaculate saves, and his win rate, like I said, 4 wins away from 14, and he could end the season out with 33. We'll see how the rest of the season goes, but currently this man is probably, in my opinion, the most standout goaltender as of right now, given the fact when you look at his overall career totals, his overall career stats, his stats right now this season in just 15 games that he has played, just far superior than any other season that he's played in the National Hockey League. He's in his fifth or 6th year, and he is at a peak right now. That'll be all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think about Dan Vladar. If you agree, if you disagree. If you're a Flyers fan, definitely give your input, because you watch the Philadelphia Flyers a lot more than I do. But thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you next time.